Welcome friends, I'm back. I just want to bring you a quick video update and tell you a little bit about my journey since I've been gone for a year. That's right, I am in my new location here in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I really want to make a video here today about the move, how it went, the pros and cons of moving from New York City to Las Vegas, Nevada. That's right, the good, the bad, the ugly, you need to know. What is it like going across the country? So let's start with the why. Why would you move across the country? You're 37 years old. A, New York City. I've been there forever. I've actually been lucky enough to grow up in all sorts of boroughs. You get to know the city. You know it like the back of your hand at some point. You know the trains, you know how to get to and from, and I just needed a change. I needed something different. Oh yes, this is the outside of the building. I needed less New York City. It's like you get used to the same thing over and over, and it's amazing, but what a view. I don't know, call it ADHD. I needed some change in my life. But let's not forget, New York City can be a trap, and I'm guilty of all the traps. Public transportation, pretty much at every other corner. A beautiful thing, and it comes every few minutes for the most part. And what, it costs you $2.90 in 2024? Now let's discuss a personal weakness of mine. A big convenience, and it's called the convenience store. Where I lived in the Bronx, at the corner of my block, literally was a bodega. And it was the bodega of bodegas. It had the candles burning outside from a shooting victim to the bodega cat. And I'll be honest, it had everything I needed at any time. If you needed cigarettes, this is how I live my life. If you needed your bud,
Please look this way.
if you needed your booze, whatever you really need, it's there. Not that those are things that anyone should need. People really don't need those things, but the convenience store had all the things that you'd think it wouldn't. And some people don't know this about me, but I actually went to college, graduated, got all the degrees and all that good stuff. And to be honest with you, I've been able to work in New York City all my life. I was able to do social work for many years. I was able to do entertainment work, as some people may know. I was able to do musician stuff as a musician, which was fantastic. I was able to do bartending once I was doing TV stuff. And to be honest, the bulk of my success and momentum in my career was with entertainment, as I've noticed. But that's a different story for a different video. So long story short, New York City has been my home. I have it tattooed on me. It is where I had a lot of my firsts and things that I'll never forget in my life. However, it was time for a change.
Chuck.
Last walk, Chuck.
Last
in New York.
walk in New York.
Take a look around.
How do you feel?
Hey guys. Hello, how are you? Hi, hello. I'm Chris Rocket, how are you?
I visited Las Vegas for the first time in about 2017, I believe. I don't really remember, but I fell in love with it from the moment I got here. It has a New York City pace. It's just trippy, just getting to where we're going. Come on.
Join us for the ride.
With the constant engagement of things around you. We're just walking down the street in Vegas and there's just a praying mantis. Not just that, but it has a West Coast Cali chill vibe at the same time. It was like so welcoming to me personally. And the weather was great. It still is great. Of course, we'll get there. But think about it. It keeps up with your New York ADHD. If you're a New Yorker, you might really dig it out here. It has a lot of similar vibes, especially in regards to options of food, options of music, options of entertainment. It's the entertainment capital of the world, as you can imagine. Another huge reason as to why is the cost of living. Yes, I lived in New York City for a number of years, one of the most expensive cities to live in the world. Even if you have some cheap rent, it costs a lot of money just to be there. If you want to work there, you're going to pay an additional tax on top of your state tax called salt. New York City's a salty place. And to me, Las Vegas was way more affordable, way more safe. The cost of living is highly debatable. They just built a stadium here a few years ago, which made cost of living go way higher. Marky Mark is out here now with a studio making cost of living higher. WWE is out here making cost of living higher. Now I hear that they're making a stadium for baseball, which is gonna rank things up. So yes, it's expensive, but even with those, it doesn't compare to New York City, it just doesn't. Not the cost of groceries, not the cost of rent, not the cost of car insurance. Let's discuss the weather. Of course, that's a huge factor for a lot of people, understandably so, to be honest. I used to be a very big boy. I mean, my weight was up there. Your boy lost easily 200 pounds. I don't know, maybe even more, who knows? Why do you think I look like a deflated balloon? But back to the weather. My lady keeps it ice cold in this apartment 24/7, and that was even in New York City. My job keeps it ice cold because I work in a call center that's full of computers, so I really don't experience much of the heat. And to be honest, no one really hangs out outside anyways. This is not a place that I really commonly see groups of people hanging out outside. Of course, there's the Strip, which is different. You're not far from doors that are heavily AC'd. Some of these casinos out here even have mists outside their casinos to ensure you don't get hot and can hang out outside. But for the most part, you're not gonna see your locals hanging out outside. And of course, there's the nighttime. Nighttime is a different story out here. There are summer nights that are still hot as though it's daytime, so people can be outside and kind of handle it. But there's also times where it's cold. When I moved here, it was February. I was freezing, the winds, the chill, it was no joke. Do not think it does not get cold here. It gets brick. But this is just me. I personally don't care for the cold because I lost all my inner fluff. Some people out there might enjoy the cold. So therefore, if you hate the heat, yes, you're probably not gonna like it out here in the desert. It is relatively hot, but I find it very tolerable, and that's from someone that was raised mostly cold. Parking. Parking here is a beautiful thing compared to New York City. I find that there's no issue or challenge finding parking. Sometimes if you're in the city area, it's gonna be no different than trying to find parking in any other city on a Saturday night, which is a pain. But I did realize that there's not gonna be many days where you're gonna be driving down the highway with your window open. That heat hits and you do not want to open your windows. And if you have half a brain, you'll be parking your car somewhere where there's shade. Protect your vehicle. The heat is no joke. So the pros as far as weather goes for me, A, better weather. It's beautiful, more sun, more vitamins, give it to me, give me that melanin, I need it all. Con, I don't get to see that New York foliage, that orange leaves, the green, the browns, the fields of Halloweeny. I miss those vibes. I'll admit, I do miss them. So as I mentioned, I've worn many, many hats for the almighty dollar. However, nothing really sparks my interest more than entertainment. Rather it be music, rather it be hosting, reality TV acting, rather it be scripting, YouTubing, streaming, all of it. I just love it, all of it, to be honest. So of course, to me, it makes sense to move to the entertainment capital of the world. And don't get me wrong, I'm not here to aspire to be the next huge star or superstar. That was in my 20s. I aspire really to make enough money to be successful making my art personally off of being Chris Rocket. That's all. But in order for me to do so, I'll be honest, friends, your boy's been at the YouTube game here for a little bit now, and I gotta get a little bit more movement on these numbers. The 19 views thing gets old, friends. Hook up your boy, leave a like, leave a comment, tell your friends to subscribe to the Chris Rocket channel. I promise I won't leave you bored. But back to opportunities. Out here, I can bartend, I can host, I can present my own shows, I can put on shows, I can actually produce, be the producer that I aspire to be. And another good thing, let's be honest, there is work here to be found. Work does exist in this city. Yes, it's in hospitality. Yes, it could be in entertainment. Yes, it could be in customer service. Your boy's doing Ooh. Your boy is working at a bank doing customer service at this time in life. So yes, opportunity is out here. It may not be ideal, but it will give you a landing place. Pro is work is out here, opportunity is plentiful and bountiful, so give it a chance. Up next, of course, is the quality of life. That's another thing that a lot of people don't take into account when they move, and they need to. Yes, quality of life to me is very important. Living in the Bronx for a number of years was really, really great for me as a person, but it also made me want to get bigger, better things in my life. Unfortunately, some people find it as a lifer, and if you're a lifer, respect, holla. But I personally care for new things. I like to move around. When I was a kid, I moved around a bunch, so I'm sure that as an adult, I'm gonna wanna move around a bunch. Thus far in moving here, people have been very friendly, very kind. Yes, there are some angry Nevadans that don't really care for you because they're locals, and they look at you as though you're the cause of their rent going up. I promise it wasn't me. And the local Nevadans don't really care for the Californians that are invading, it seems. And I'll admit, some Californians do scare me behind the wheel. The traffic here is not a concern for me. Speaking of traffic, the traffic here is a joke. The traffic here is so cute. I have yet to have hit bumper to bumper traffic in the months of me being here, to be honest. And I got here back in February. It is now October. Very, very minimal traffic. I hope I'm not jinxing myself by saying such things. To have a very real conversation, I lived in a very, very tough area of the Bronx. It was no joke. There was death and shootings and drugs and violence and blood on the streets, and there were days where I didn't want to walk the dog because there was either drama outside. It's just a lot. Eventually it gets old and you want to have a little bit more peace in your life. There's been fires in my Bronx building in particular. There's been murders, there's been murder-suicides that happened next door. I remember looking outside my back window and seeing like bodies outside. It was no joke. And then like you're fighting off roaches and you're fighting off mice because you're in these pre-war buildings that are just infested as it is. I was ready. Some folks aren't, but I was ready. Your boy was I just about had it. I'll be honest, I am a particularly crazy person. My chest is vibrating. I visited some of the worst areas of Las Vegas that you're not supposed to be at night with friends, just to kind of like get my beak wet and see what it is out here that's a big danger.
Oh my God.
It's all dangerous. Of course, every city is going to have aspects that you're not going to want to be around. There's certain hours.
This is the ghetto area.
This is the ghetto area. It really, to me, didn't compare much to New York. However, oh my God, there's a community center. We are in the ghetto. After living in that kind of area for so long, you're just like, this is your ghetto, huh? I actually took the bus just so I can kind of peep through the hoods. I even talked to a security guard because the buses out here tend to have security guards, which I thought was hilarious. And the security guard said to me, yeah, it's mostly chill because if you get in trouble here, they'll throw the book at you because this is Vegas and it's tourist town and they want to keep the peace. And if you disturb their peace, you disturb their money. Big problem. So the pros are that it's cleanly, more safe, more calm, more friendly. Cons, some of the locals might hate you because they think that you caused their cost of living to increase. Cons, you need a car to get anywhere. You will not be taking the bus. That whole idea of walking down the street to the bodega is now dead. Rest in peace though. Now, let's discuss another huge, exciting selling point for me moving here in the first place, which was the food. Yes, believe it or not, I'm from New York City. I'm from the mecca of all that is cuisine. Now, the food out here is totally different. I can't find Puerto Rican food to save my life. I can't find sofrito. What? I can't find culantro. What? The Puerto Rican cuisine is not much catered to out here. What? Mexican cuisine is in abundance. It's just abundance. Let's just say it that way. Pro, they have amazing food options. Every kind of food you're gonna be wanting, they have it in abundance. Con, it's going to taste different. The water here is different. Don't expect the pizza here to taste anything like New York. Don't expect any of your food to taste anything like out east if you are an Easterner. And another thing, no one seems to have heard of a shrimp parmesan. I've spoken to countless restaurant owners here and they don't know what a shrimp parmesan hero is. They look at me like I'm crazy and have never heard of such a thing. Meanwhile, they own pizzerias. So as time went on and my partner came out here and she visited Las Vegas by herself and fell in love and had her own little journey, it all made sense. I said, this is it. Thankfully, me nor my partner don't have children. So it's not as though we have responsibilities or anything tying us down. And as I like to say, the world is our oyster. We can go anywhere we want. We don't owe anyone an explanation. I looked at Houston, I looked at Virginia, I looked at Philly. There were lots of runners up before I came here as far as cost of living and the things that I care for that matter to me personally in as far as where I live. But Vegas was the winner. It always was the winner. I knew it was going to be the winner. And it's been fantastic ever since being here. Things move a lot faster for me here, which I like. There's always something going on somewhere. There's always an open mic. There's always bars. There's always 24 action. It is a 24-hour town. Whereas in New York, there's last call and things close down. Con, a lot of people find it boring. Personally, I couldn't go through all of everything that there is to do in New York City, so I feel like I can't go through all of everything that there is to do here. But the locals here, they don't feel too entertained. I think that people tend to do everything that there is to do out here. So in addition, pros are your boy was able to move out here successfully within reasonable cost, within a reasonable amount of time. I was able to find a job. I was able to get a car. I was able to get on my feet. And if I can do that, and I am a colossal asshat, anyone can. Here's one fun con. The shows here are expensive. I noticed that a lot of my favorite bands don't really stop here, and when they do play here, their tickets are astronomically high. Oh yeah, just like in New York City. How much does some of y'all women pay for them Bad Bunny tickets? So now that I'm here in town, if you have ideas, if you have things you think I need to do, if I'm missing out on something, if there is something that Chris Rocket needs to try out in Vegas, drop a comment and let your boy know. All right, I'm ready to go out there and see what's going on. And of course, as per usual, do your boy a favor, like, comment, share, subscribe, and do the work because I love you so much.